Welcome to Diary of a Fit Girl with your host, Radha, the #1 show to successfully live a health and fitness lifestyle and to be your greatest self. Keep on snoozing your alarm at 5 a.m. Keep skipping the gym. Finding it too difficult to wake up? If this sounds like you, then you're definitely in the right place. What's up, Rebels? I'm Radha, and welcome to Diary of a Fit Girl. We are currently in episode 4 of the beginner series. So, if you're wanting to live a healthier lifestyle, you're in the right place. Have you ever found yourself being woken up by your alarm at 5 a.m. and you snooze your alarm as many times as possible, not wanting to wake up or being unable to wake up? I'm sure you have. Most people have been there. They tell themselves they'll go to the gym in the morning at 6 a.m. So they set their alarm for 5 a.m. so they have enough time to get ready and go to the gym. But they just can't seem to get up in the morning. No matter how hard they try every day, they snooze their alarm and skip the gym again. And now it's been a few months and you still haven't been. Does this sound familiar to you? Well, I'm not going to lie. When I first started, I found it difficult to wake up at 5 a.m., but only once or twice. It wasn't a huge dilemma for me, but it was still a dilemma. So, as I am naturally a morning person, waking up early I really liked and enjoyed. However, there are a lot of people who want to wake up at 5 a.m. and they are not a morning person. They would prefer they're more of a night owl rather than a morning person, but they want to wake up early for the gym since it's better for their routine. So I would personally say go to your strengths, but if that's not the case, then I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. So I would find myself on some mornings that I didn't want to wake up and I snoozed my alarm. At 5 a.m. I snoozed it and snoozed it and snoozed it, and then when I eventually woke up, it would be 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. By that time, I can't go to the gym, meaning I would have to skip the gym. And I would be mad at myself. I wouldn't be pleased with myself. I obviously had to figure out what I needed to do. So I would obviously prefer to work out in the morning, which is why my alarm was set for the morning. For me, not waking up was more of a punishment because I loved going to the gym and I loved working out. So I had to find a way to wake up at 5 a.m. without going back to bed and snoozing my alarm. How could I do this? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Now that I look back 10 years later, the answer is so obvious, but when you're first starting, it's really difficult and hard, and you don't know what the solution is. You think there is no solution. But don't worry, in this podcast episode, I'm going to tell you exactly what my solution was and what you can do so you can actually wake up and not snooze your alarm anymore. Not being able to wake up when you said you'd wake up is a common issue among people. Why? Well, that's because it's more of an issue of self-discipline. Discipline is one of the most essential components in a fitness lifestyle that you need to succeed. Don't get me wrong, it applies to every aspect of your life. It's not just waking up in the morning, it's not just fitness, it's your mindset, your work, your personal life, finances, it's absolutely everything. So it doesn't matter how you learn or incorporate discipline into your lifestyle. What matters is that you need discipline in your life now, or you'll have to face the consequences, and that's not something that you want to do. If you don't, you most likely won't succeed at living a healthier lifestyle. Discipline comes in when you're eating your food too. It's in every aspect of living a healthier lifestyle. Like, I don't really care how it's developed into you. You really need it in your life. Discipline is what keeps you going. Once you've built the habit of training discipline into your life, discipline will keep you consistent. Discipline is what makes you go all the way. No one else is going to push you. No one else is going to motivate you. It's just you, and that's it. When you first get started, you might need motivation or you'll find that motivation within you. But you will have days where you don't want to work out or you don't want to live a healthier lifestyle. But that's where habit and discipline come in. You know, this will literally lead you to succeeding and living a healthier lifestyle. Now, I know what you're thinking. Discipline is only what they have in the military or in the army when you're being shouted at by your general. That's not really discipline for me, anyways. I've never thought of that as discipline. I'm not keen at being shouted at. Being shouted at wouldn't work for me. It might work for you, but for me, it wouldn't. Being told what to do doesn't work for me. I've listened to a few ex-Marines say that making your bed in the morning is great for you to be disciplined. But for me, someone who has always made their bed, I don't really see this as discipline. I personally don't see it would make a difference because it's such a little thing. I don't see it as a contributing factor, but I'm sure it is in a very little way. Let me ask you a question. How many of you make your bed in the morning? Don't lie, I can't really see your answer. For me, it's a small thing that I don't even notice. Whereas if you don't make your bed in the morning, then I can see it making a significant difference. It's a balance between discipline and just keeping a tidy, healthy environment. If your environment is healthy, most likely neither are you. It really comes into having healthy habits, which is super, super important to have when you're living a healthier lifestyle. When everything is healthy in your life, so are you, and it is much, much better. However, you have to wake up first to be able to do your bed. So if you don't wake up at 5 a.m., then obviously you won't be making your bed, will you? So essentially, that particular concept or solution isn't really going to work because the actual issue is getting out of bed. So making your bed is what comes after. That's probably discipline afterwards, not discipline for before. However, when I first started, I never really saw the correlation between making my bed in the morning and discipline. I don't really see it still, as my focus was to get out of bed and go to the gym at 5 a.m. I never saw this as discipline. I saw this as how can I get out of a bed issue, which I'm sure you probably have too. So it actually reminds me of when I was on holiday in Tenerife. And if you didn't know, I am kind of scared of heights, or I have this belief that I'm afraid of heights, or afraid of falling, or afraid of being injured. I'm never really sure which one it is. Anyways, I'm afraid of heights, and I am at CM Park, one of the biggest water park in Europe, if I'm correct. I was queuing up to the tallest water slide that they have there. It's the one that goes in between the sharks, if you're not familiar. It's really, really fun. If you haven't been, I highly recommend it. So I was queuing up, and the person in front of me, it was their turn. So they went down, and at this point, I was excited. Then, next thing you know, it was my turn. So I stepped forward and realized how high this actually was. Next thing you know, I wanted to get down, but not by the slide. I wanted to walk down the stairs and not go down the slide because I was afraid. But that would have been so embarrassing because there was a huge queue of people behind me. So walking back downstairs was not on the cards because, well, that would have been really embarrassing and everyone would have seen that I lost out to a water slide. And that's not something that I want to do. I don't want a water slide to beat me, do I? So who cares if I'm afraid of heights? Because I don't. I'm not going to let that stop me. Are you? Growing up, I always had this saying, and It was don't live in fear. So whenever I was afraid, I would do what I'm afraid of. Like no matter what I was thinking, I would just force myself and do it. I wouldn't think about it, I would just do it. So what had happened on the water slide? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? I essentially thought back to this video that I saw on social media that actually helped me to wake up at 5 a.m. without any form of struggle. Like I would literally wake up before my alarm. I wouldn't even need it. What is it, you ask? I'm telling you that the information from this video that I learned and now that I'm telling you in this podcast will change your life. It's the most simplest idea ever. Basically, when your alarm clock goes off in the morning, when you hear that annoying, irritating sound that you most likely hate and don't want to hear in the morning, what is the first thing that you naturally do? You think. The first thing that you do is you have these thoughts, and your thoughts are always, I'm sure this sounds familiar, your thoughts are always, oh, I don't want to wake up, or I don't want to go to the gym, or I want to stay in bed. So the video that I saw advised to not think about it and just do it because it's your thoughts that are preventing you from going and waking up. So either here the solution is change your thoughts or just don't think about anything or have any thoughts when you first wake up. The second one is much, much easier to do because changing your thoughts requires you to change your subconscious thoughts. And that really goes into your epigenetics and your conditioning from growing up. So I'll have to do that in another episode because that we'll have to go quite deep into that one. But not thinking at all when you first wake up is the easiest solution here. What's truly stopping you from waking up is your thoughts. Your thoughts are holding you back. If you don't believe me, the next time you wake up, literally notice what your first thoughts are on the day and write it down. And instead, what you want to do is you want to program yourself to say positive thoughts in the morning instead of these negative thoughts. You want to say things like, I'm excited to go to the gym, or I'm excited to run on a treadmill. I'm grateful to run on a treadmill. You want to have thoughts about enjoying the gym. You want to visualize enjoying the gym as well. If you do that on a repetitive basis, this will program your subconscious mind and it will essentially change your thoughts in the morning. But obviously, that will take time. So this is more science and subconscious thinking and programming. That is why I am recommending just don't think at all. So I tried it back then, and for the first time, when I tried it, it worked perfectly. I didn't even think about waking up. There were no thoughts at all. All I did was jump out of bed and I was up. Like, I literally jumped out of bed. I was literally up within a second. Before my alarm, or even when my alarm went off, I would wake up immediately and I would just go about my day. It was so, so simple. There was no struggle. There was absolutely no resistance from me. I didn't even snooze my alarm. How could I when I didn't even think about it? After I saw that video, I never, ever, ever struggled to get out of bed early ever again. So I used the exact same principle when I was on that water slide. I recalled the video and remembered, don't think about it and just do it. So I stopped any thoughts on being afraid and just went down the slide. After 10 seconds or maybe even less, I was at the bottom of the slide and there was nothing to be afraid of. Once I reached the bottom, it was like, is that it? There was no need to be afraid. Fear is just an illusion. Fear is only in the mind, and so is your struggle. You struggle because you believe there is a struggle, where in fact it doesn't actually exist. You can literally create the healthy lifestyle that you desire just by envisioning it in your mind first. Doing it through your mind first will make it easier when you pursue it physically. By envisioning, I mean imagine it in your mind. Close your eyes and see yourself living a healthier lifestyle. Imagine yourself waking up at 5 a.m. easily without even a struggle before your alarm goes off. Doing this will literally make your life so, so much easier. If you don't believe me, I dare you to try it. If you're ever struggling at doing anything, it's your thoughts that are preventing you from achieving it. The easiest option is to eliminate the thoughts, or eliminate the fear, like we said in one of the previous episodes of gym anxiety. Again, stopping your thoughts is difficult and may sound like an impossible task, but just think no mind, like Bruce Lee said, absolutely nothing. But if you're still having issues with this, then I would recommend meditating on a regular basis. This will definitely help with you being able to control your thoughts. But again, this isn't necessary. For this concept, as when I had this issue of not being able to wake up, I wasn't actually meditating back then. At this point in my life, I was not meditating. But I would definitely recommend that you try it because it will boost your focus and discipline, and it will essentially help you to wake up earlier, have a clearer mind, and just get things done in a more efficient manner. So I would recommend start meditating now. If you don't want to, then that's cool. You are missing out, I'm not gonna lie. To essentially combat the issue of not being able to wake up, just try the don't think, just do it method. This is my favorite method because it's like magic. You'll literally wake up instantly. If it doesn't work on the first go, then that's fine. It might take you a few days to get into it. As essentially, you just need to tell your mind that you're going to wake up at this time, and then you will wake up. Your subconscious thoughts are much, much powerful than your conscious thoughts. So if you don't believe me, give it a go. I highly believe and highly recommend that it will work for you. If it doesn't, or if you have any alternative ideas, let me know by dropping me a comment below. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, then write a comment below. If not, feel free to message me through my social medias. This is a rather short episode, but I wanted to get this point across because it works for me and it might work for you. So here's a few points that I want you guys to take away today. If you're afraid of something, do it anyway. If you're struggling to wake up early in the morning, then remember, don't think about it, just do it. Discipline is the key to success in all things. If you're not meditating on a daily basis, then I highly recommend that you do now. I'll close out my diary and don't tell anyone of the secrets that I told you today. I'll see you in my next episode of Diary of a Fit Girl. Ciao, ciao.